Welcome to Vital Signs. I'm Jen Godet, your fearless host, where we spotlight groundbreaking innovation and the people behind them who are changing the face of health, well-being, peak human performance. Today's guest is not only a veteran and former EMT, he's also an innovator, changing the game in emergency and sports medicine. Brad Domingue is a founder of Splints, and his patented splint design is catching the attention of first responders, coaches, and medical professionals alike. In this segment, we're going to explore what makes his design so different and what the future holds for injury care and rapid response solutions. Brad, not all splints are created equal. I know in sports medicine, I've seen some interesting things, but your design is changing the game. How is Splint different than what we have come to know?
It's different because I kind of looked at all the splints that are currently being used, which is really about 3 of them. And I took the flaws in those 3, and that's where I designed this one. So that way, if you have a splint that you need something to be able to put it on faster, that's what Splint does. If you need something that is a kind of fit all, if you want, that's where Dash comes in. It's easy, it keeps it simple, so that way even a layperson can figure out how to apply it.
So it's interesting. I want you to unpack this. Show it to us. Like, what is actually different for those of us who maybe not are in the field?
Okay, so one of the leading splints that's on the market, you have to really shape it, which takes a while. You're sitting there trying to shape it, whereas with the Splint, it's already there. You know, you can quickly open it, so you can do, you know, a little kid's foot. This is one size. This is actually another size, depending which size you use. You can do it like this as well. So this is another size, and this is another size. Or you can leave it all the way. Now, for like a little kid, like my son, I can do this, and it'll do his ankle all the way up to his leg. So you carry, you know, one does so much, I guess you could say, and it eliminates the voids. So other splints, when you put it on, it'll have voids where you have to use extra material in here, whereas this one already form fits. Mm-hmm. So that's I guess makes it quick, it's easy, and it's simple.
And so, you know, where do you see this innovation being used the most? Are we talking about schools? We're talking about sidelines? We're talking about disaster zones?
Well, all of them, really, I guess. A lot of it, which was really neat, is a lot of parents, when they found out about it through social media and that, they would buy them, and we would basically donate them to the schools, which was awesome because, you know, we donated one to a school on a Monday, and they used it that Friday. And the school nurse was just excited about having it. You know, ambulances are using it. We have an ambulance in Alabama. They're using it. I'm in talks right now with a ski patrol, actually, who's wanting us to maybe do a pilot program with them. So that's pretty interesting. I see sports medicine definitely is using it. We went to the national show for them, and we got a lot of good feedback. UL Sports Medicine's using it. Out here in Texas, I believe they're called like Word Incarnate is the university. They're using it as well.
And so the thing that really struck me, because I was in sports medicine, I'm a physical therapist by trade, for those of you who don't know, and I was in elite sports medicine for 20 years. And you don't need to take this off when you get an x-ray, correct?
Yes, exactly. So you can leave it on. There's nothing in it that's made out of metal. You can leave it on. You can go to MRI even, and you don't have to worry about it. Which, you know, it was kind of on the news recently with someone that walked into a room with MRI and they got, you know, fatally was injured. So that's another thing. You don't even have to worry about that, which also can add to the treating of the patient because you're not having to put it on, take it off while you're already at the hospital. Mm-hmm. So that's it. Yeah, that's another good plus.
Well, and for those of you who don't know, especially the parents out there, if you have children who are in sports or if you are an athlete, you get injured, you get into a splint, and then you get to where you're ready to take x-rays or MRI, and they take that off. That is an incredibly painful experience. And so by just the fact that this doesn't have to be removed already makes it more comfortable. It makes it much more comfortable for the patient, and it actually makes it more safe because you're not manipulating in a different way for your diagnostics, which makes for a better experience. So let me ask you, what's the next evolution here? Because you're an innovator. You're getting these in. What are people asking for now that they're using this? Is there a next iteration or?
Yes, I've had sports medicine actually ask me if there was a way that I could possibly make it bigger. So I'm looking into that. I'm thinking about maybe making another one that's a lot bigger, that only folds twice. You know, I hear a lot how the systems that some of them are using are very expensive. They use a pump type of system, and that can be broken, and it's real expensive to replace anything. Whereas this is a lot easier. So if I can make one even bigger, for your elite athletes, I'll call it, that's what they're looking at. So that's another possibility.
It's really interesting. On the show, we talk a lot about technology and AI and robotics, but this is something that has been around splints have been around for a really, really long time. It seems to me like it's been a long time since there's been any innovation in the space, and yet you're innovating here and you're coming up with great options. So let me ask you, what prompted it to begin with? Because people are going to want to know, well, how did you think to do this? Because this has been the same for so long.
Right. Like, I never thought I would be somebody to invent something. Never. Like, furthest thing from my mind, I mean, I might have thought of some things, but it kind of came to me really in Iraq. They would always have, trainings that we had to do. I got put on to a certain type of training that was with some special forces guys. And in the training, something clicked that I needed to look at something different. Like, don't just accept what is given to us. And I started thinking about, the splints that we were using is time consuming to apply it. So I started playing around with basically some pieces of wood and some army duct tape, if you will. And made a couple of other things as well. I get to Kuwait, and we're making a drive from Kuwait to Baghdad. We get pulled over, and there was a doctor that came up to me, and a lot of times they like to drill you. They want to make sure you know what you're talking about and what you're doing. And he wanted to see my medic bag, and I had a lot of different things that I made on the outside of my medic bag, which there was a splint very similar to this that was on my bag. And he asked, what was that? So I showed it to him. He was like, well, what is this for? And I showed him what that was for. And he really liked it, and it blew me away. And he just didn't have anything else to say, and he walked away. So that let me know I needed to do it.
Absolutely. It's the people like you that are crazy enough to think up the new solutions that actually make these things that drive our future. And so I'm going to ask you the next question, because I know people are asking, how do I get my hands on this? How do I advocate for this? How do I ask my sports medicine doc? Do I bring this to team physicals? How do I bring this to my school for my kid so that we can have something that's more comfortable, faster to apply, easier if they were to get injured?
Okay, so Dash Splints has a website. We also have an email address. If you just want to buy like one or two, you can go on site and buy it. A lot of people are buying it because they'll carry it in their little bag. A lot of times moms will have their little, recreational bag to go watch their kids play sports. It's good to have it in there because you never know who's going to be there or who's going to get hurt too. Sports medicine wise, send me an email. Dash Splints on the website also has an email. We can talk about, how many you want to buy. We could possibly give you a discount on that as well. And that's really the main thing. Also, by emailing us and talking to us, I can customize these. So I can make it to where it has your university or your name on the splint as well to make sure that you get them returned from the ER, which is helping, because a lot of the sports medicine are worried about that. Well, what happens when it gets to the ER? How am I going to get it back? And this, when we customize it, it'll have a number. Do not throw, call to pick up. So we can customize them also for you.
That's fantastic. So what is the takeaway, folks? The takeaway is innovation doesn't always mean complex technology. It's about smart, Usable solutions that save time, reduce harm, and improve outcomes. Dash Splints is one of those things. I strongly recommend you reach out to Brad because this is amazing. It's great for our athletes. It's great for us as well. I mean, I'm going to be frank. Sometimes we're out there being weekend warriors, and I know multiple times I would have liked to have this in my bag. So sometimes the best solutions come from those who've been in the field, and his work proves that firsthand experience breeds innovation. So Brad, for those who want to learn more and get in touch with you, you've already shared your website, but share it one more time.
All right, at www.splints.com.
Thank you. We do have to take a brief break, but we will be right back after these important messages.